Hi, Luke. Today we will have interview with you, your community manager of Minima. Can you present yourself, please, and our project in a few words, please?
Yeah, of course. First of all, hi Dima. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. And I would be glad to talk to you about Minima, about myself. First of all, I'll talk about Minima because that's why we're all here.
Of course.
Minima is a blockchain protocol, layer one, layer two, and we also have mini dApps layer three and layer three. The idea behind Minima is to empower freedom everywhere for anyone.
Yeah.
And the way we do that is by creating a whole brand new ecosystem effectively built on Minima protocol, which is like HTTP or TCP/IP or something like that. And then give that um, technology to all of you within the community, to the world, and allow you to build
Yeah.
things upon it in the way that you want to. And it's a very um, exciting project to work on, whether you're working within Minima or I imagine within the community too. And
Yeah.
we're really excited to be getting very close now towards mainnet. We're at over 80,000 nodes, and
Yeah. It's really cool.
that's more than pretty much any project out there, which is exciting. And
Yeah.
obviously, we're looking to get towards 1 million by mainnet, and we're looking at current rates of growth for that to be sometime around August, September time. So not long at all now. Um, Me myself, I'm Luke Edwards. I'm head of community here at Minima. Previously to Minima, I've worked in running professionally running campaigns and communities for software testing companies that had individual software testers around the world.
Oh,
And my
that's
job
cool.
was to make sure we had the right people doing the right jobs at the right time. So this is not my first time running a community, but outside of that, I did communities for fun within sort of the gaming sphere. And
Mhm.
before that, going way back, I'm actually trained as both a broadcast journalist and a web developer, if you can believe. So that's what I did before getting into community management.
Okay. Yeah, it was our second questions about what did you do before the Minima? Yes, but you told all of it. Okay, as far as I understand, we'll like next questions. As far as I understand, after entering the mainnet, the Minima team will be disbanded.
Mhm.
And have you thought about what will you do after that? And perhaps you will start building a new project on Minima with the same team, or maybe something like this.
It's a really great question. So you're right. I mean, the team itself won't necessarily disband, but Minima as an organisation will, because that's kind of our final point of centralisation.
Yeah.
And the aim of Minima is to be the most decentralized blockchain ever,
Yeah.
and that means that Minima has to you know remove itself as that point of centralization. And the
Mhm.
good news is once we get to mainnet, Minima will be complete, so you won't necessarily need that. However, the community will continue on. There'll be people who need help, guidance in using Minima, who'll be wanting to build things on Minima, particularly developers, and there's going to be a developer part of the community coming before too long. So myself and any of my community team colleagues that want to will continue working on it within Minima as
Mhm.
its own thing, within the community, I should say, but as its own thing. And I'm sure there are different people within Minima right now who have their own projects and things that they want to see happen on Minima.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that we'll be spending time doing that sort of thing afterwards as well. But for my part, I'll still be around, and so will some of my colleagues to talk to you guys, to work with you guys, but just in
The
a different
community
way.
will work. Yeah.
You know? Mm.
Yeah, it's really good. And now we will speak more for community. And as a head of community, how can you estimate our work, ambassadors' work, community work, and our this stuff?
Yeah, cool. So we have tools that we use which allow us to look at uh, everyone within the community, within our different channels, so we can see who's talking, who's helping who, who's around and when. So there's that sort of thing that is there that allows us to identify, who
Mhm.
uh, the movers and shakers are, if you like, the big cheeses within community. But we also, a lot of the time, it's through talking and participating, being in the channels and talking to people, seeing the relationships that people form, asking questions where we find them and seeing who asks them as well. Because I know sometimes it comes up,
Yeah.
Luke or Naomi or whoever haven't been around for a while. We're there, but we're looking to see who of you in the community are answering the questions
Yes.
instead of us, because that's what community is about. It's not necessarily about us
Yeah.
talking to you and answering your questions. It's about seeing if people within the community are starting to understand things for themselves and help each other. And
Yeah.
I'm really
Because
grateful to
Minima,
see
it's about
that is happening.
decentralized.
It is
Isn't
about,
it?
about being decentralized, but one of the things that we're very proud of is that our community does help each other. It's a very friendly community. It's a very non-confrontational community, and it's not like any community actually I've come across yet. There's no
Yeah.
infighting. There's no factions. People are just here because they enjoy the project. They all of you are looking to see Minima make changes for you, in the world, in your lives, and you're all there to help each other. And that's what Minima is about. Ultimately, it's about everybody, whether we're in the Minima team or in the community, all working together
Yeah, of course.
towards that common goal.
Okay. Uh, Thank you for the answer. Next questions. What development await the Minima community in the near future? Maybe it will be new roles or new rules, or for recruiting level, or maybe filtering by skill, some tasks, maybe some competitions, something like this.
Mm. So we're working on a ambassador platform at the moment with our friends at Double Top, and I
Mhm.
should say they're building it, and we're going to be using it. And what that will allow us to do is actually create multiple tasks. So there'll be lots of things running all at once, but in a centralized place. I know it's a dirty word, centralized, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's helpful as a tool. And if you recall, I think a week or so ago, we put out a survey to ask people what their skills were within the ambassador crowd.
Mhm.
And you will see some new user titles start to appear around translation, artist, developer, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Those user titles will allow us to actually set tasks for specific groups of people based on skill within that ambassador platform.
Oh, cool.
So you'll start to see more things come up that are more about what it is that you can do through your skills, as opposed to just doing things like
Mhm.
talking about us or whatever. Um, but all of it comes back to nodes ultimately, because the thing is to get to a million nodes.
Yeah, it's
And
our main goal.
absolutely, and as much as we are out there doing PR and we're talking to other communities and things, the number one driver of new nodes is other node runners, people recommending us to their friends, their family, and so the ambassador program and all the tasks that we put out are all geared towards that kind of thing. There
Yeah.
will be competitions. There's one that I'm going to be looking to launch soon. It's called the Nodometer or the Nodalizer. We're trying to figure out specifically what that is,
Mhm.
but the idea is that we're going to make it so that collectively as a community, if you hit certain node targets, overall node targets by a certain time, then there'll be a reward in Minima for everybody. So that kind of is the kind of competitions that we strive to create. Ones where you're all working together towards a common goal, and if you work together, you all win,
Okay.
as opposed to one where, which we will do some of, but as opposed to competitions where it's like it's a random chance somebody will win something, or there's
Mhm.
a straight competition. We're striving to create competitions where it's about working together towards a common goal,
Yeah,
because that's what
cool.
Minima is about.
Okay, and maybe one of the most popular question: will each noder have to pass QAC before the mainnet started launch?
Yes. So, long story short, there will be some kind of verification. I don't know
Mhm.
yet exactly what that's going to look like.
Okay.
We want to make it as minimal as possible, but we need to make sure that when people are collecting their incentive rewards for a node, that they are legitimate people, and that we're maintaining one person
Yeah.
per incentive
Yeah,
account.
because it's like
Um,
one of the rule like of the nodes: one people, one node, one man, one
Absolutely. And the reason for that is because we want, it's not just about
decentralized.
having a million nodes,
Yeah.
it's about being as decentralized as possible. So anything that we do that inadvertently incentivizes people to do centralized behavior, like running multiple nodes for themselves, actually ultimately hurts the project, and in the long run, actually hurts the
Yeah.
people that are trying to do that, because the whole point of that, one of the biggest value points of Minima is that decentralized nature. So yeah, there'll be something. It won't be, you know, we're not planning for it to be long-winded or very difficult,
Mhm.
but there will be something. And as soon as I'm able to say exactly what that will be, then myself and my team, we will make sure that you guys all know.
Yeah, okay. And questions like this is like now we will talk more about like transactions, maybe some technical, yes. And if we don't get 1 million nodes, will the mainnet bill be started or it will be postponed?
So in the autumn, it wasn't about hitting nodes that caused the us to push back. It was about the technology. So one of the things we want to do is make sure that when we go to mainnet that we're complete. And
Mhm.
we realized through the initial testing that there were some areas that we needed to improve upon. So that's why, for example, the mini dApps went away for a bit, because we've completely rewritten those.
Mhm.
And they'll be coming back in a few weeks, actually. In fact, testing should start on those any day now. And we've also rewritten large parts of Minima as well to make it more efficient. Because one of the things that we saw for people running it on their phones was that it was using a lot of power, for example. So that's why
Yeah,
that delay happened. It wasn't actually around the node count. On the current growth rate, we're going to get to that million nodes. That's going to happen. That's
yeah.
not a
I
problem.
hope that we will
Were
get
to
it.
get That's it. If we were to get there, that's a decision that I don't know. That's not a decision I will be a part of. But as far as I'm aware, the reason we're trying to get to that million nodes is because that provides the security we need as a minimum. We need that million. So
Yeah,
if I was to, if I, and this is just me saying it, if I was to speculate, then I would say possibly, but I don't know that answer for certain.
mhm. Okay. And maybe you can give us some announce maybe to new partners. Maybe you have new connections and with other maybe crypto businesses, blockchains, and other.
So one of the reasons I know that we're going to get to a million nodes, whatever happens, is through the partnerships that we're going to be bringing on before mainnet. And I am desperate. I really want to be able to talk about these partnerships, in detail. I'm just not able to yet because we're still waiting for the contracts to finish
Yeah.
being signed
Okay.
and for the
Okay.
embargo dates to be released. But I can tell you that there should be at least three announced before mainnet.
Mhm.
One is in the vehicle to vehicle communications space, so think smart cars, and they're one of the world's largest manufacturers. We're not talking like small.
Mhm.
What are this? We're talking to one of Europe's largest telecommunications, mobile telephone companies that
Mhm.
we're looking to work with
Interesting.
them. That'd be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of nodes right there. And we're also talking to we're talking to a big company within the file sharing space as well. So all three of those are looking to come online before mainnet, and any one of them will be available to talk about more very soon. And honestly, I'm so excited to be able to,
Mhm.
because I know who they are, but I can't talk about them yet. I'm
Okay.
afraid.
Okay. Next question. So we have collected more than 80,000 notes, and our plan of this quarter of year is 300,000. Yeah, and maybe you can tell us some plans of marketing, some like development. What will you do? What us have to do, like community, to achieve it? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So we've got some partners on the community side that we're going to be starting to work with, or are starting to work with, that are going to help us be more available in what is my night time. So 24 hours, we'll be able to more or less get coverage of people working or available within community. So that's the first thing. We
Mhm.
are doing outreach with community initiatives in Africa that will help us bring
Oh,
more nodes there.
okay.
We're doing similar things in Asia as well.
Mhm.
Um, we're also growing the team internally. So I would say if there's anybody that has experience in community management or social media management within the community that watches this, if they want to send me their CV or slash resume, I'd be
Mhm.
happy to see it.
Okay.
Um, as well as that, we're going to be having on the more marketing side, we're already starting to see actually increased coverage, both within media but also online. In fact, we came, I think, fourth out of 100 crypto startups to watch in a national, European-wide survey a couple of weeks ago. So we're
Cool.
starting to get that attention. We're also going to be closing our third and final private round of funding this month, I believe. So that'll be going out to press release as well. And then, of course, any number of the partners, as soon as we can announce it, it won't just be us talking about it. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
them talking about it too.
Cool.
And
Cool.
they believe me when I say that these three partners have far more reach internationally through their networks than we do right now. So that also will help to bring people to us. And the biggest thing that you can all do within the community
Mm-hmm.
is twofold. The first is when we start to see these large groups of new people coming in, not
Yeah.
knowing what they're doing, is to help them find their way, as you all do already.
Yeah.
Because the
We
biggest
all
thing
try.
that keeps people with us right now is the friendly atmosphere and the fact that people help each other. Because again, like, it's just not the normal. Not normal. I wish it was, but it's not. So it's great to see it here.
Yes.
The second thing is to continue to tell people about us. And when
Yeah.
you see, we tell you about big pieces of news that you know that people who aren't necessarily into crypto within your family, within your friend group, within your work group, um, when you know that they will recognize the partners that we're talking about,
Yes. All of my
it helps you.
family have Minima notes, and some of my friends also. Yeah. And you know that I wrote you that we have two videos about Minima, and it will be our third. Yeah, that's because I really like this project. It's a really interesting idea. Uh,
I'm 100% with you. In fact, my family, it's gotten to the point now that when we have family events, when people used to ask me, like, what's going on with work, now
yeah,
they don't because they're afraid. If they ask me about work, I'll start trying to get them to run nodes and
yeah,
stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's the best thing people can do. And there's always going to be people in your life that don't get crypto or they don't like the idea of putting an app on their phone or something like that. And when you can say, well, yeah, they're working with X company, Y company, then they go, oh, okay, these guys aren't a scam, they're legitimate, and that's a good way of getting more people to join.
yeah.
Actually, the third way, thinking about it, is we are working very hard to get our app into the Play Store within the next few weeks, in the
Oh,
Google
yeah,
Play
it
Store.
will be cool.
So one of the barriers we know that people do have is the idea of installing an application that isn't signed, or when they see it signed through a Play Store. So we're going to get rid of that barrier. And when that happens, it'd be great if people from the community could download it through the Play Store and then
Yeah,
leave a positive review, because that helps us out massively.
yeah, cool. And some about questions about transactions. Will a transaction be made if I, with my worker node, send data to a person whose node is currently disabled? Does a transaction go through?
Oh, that's a great technical question to which I don't actually have the immediate answer. But if I was thinking about it, if you sent data to a node that's offline,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it just wouldn't arrive. And there'll be something that within it that will tell you that that's failed to go through, because it's peer to peer, right? So if
Yeah.
it's offline, it's offline. But
Okay.
what I can do is go and speak to the engineering team after this call, and I'll get that information and I'll send it to you.
Okay. Thank
Yeah, no worries.
you. Yes. What will be the transaction fee? Will it change depending on the load of the network, like gas and the Ethereum, or not?
So we have the burn, right? So what the burn's designed to do is manage traffic at peak times, at heavy times of heavy traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and the burn itself, it won't ever be vast sums, but it will flex. So if you're trying to use the network at a time of very high load, you might find the burn is slightly higher,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be comparable to what people see with like the gas wars that are going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed just to make sure that for any given block, the right piece of data gets in. But we're going to have more detail around how the burn is going to function in practice.
Mm-hmm.
That will be coming out before we get to mainnet, so you'll all fully understand that.
Okay. Will the Minima have bridges with other blockchains? And if so, with which ones will it be implemented first of all?
that is very much up to the community. So if you think about Minima, we're building the base layer, right? We're building the tools and the technology, but it's up to people within the community to decide how they want to use that. So
Uh-huh.
if you want to build a bridge,
Understand.
if you want to build a connector to another blockchain,
Yeah.
do it. The documentation will be there, but we're not going to be building those bridges ourselves. We're going to have, we're going to have
Okay,
Omnia, our equivalent of Lightning,
I
but beyond
understand.
that, it's the
Okay,
community's
it's
decision.
somebody can like have their own like company and make bridge for other blockchain. Understand? Yeah. Okay.
That's it. And there'll be people. I'm sure, or I know for a fact, there's people within Minimo that once we get past mainnet, I'm sure they'll happily work with these companies to do that, or people within the community as a community project.
Okay. Already working with potential developers on Minima blockchain. If so, who they are? Maybe somebody already working on our blockchain. Maybe some think to make some projects in the future.
So right now, it's all about actually building Minima itself. So making sure the
Mhm.
blockchain is stable, making sure we've got the layers in place, working on Omnia, um, and building out the core suite of mini dApps. But
Okay.
if you go into the Minima channel within Discord, there are already some community developers in there working on things and playing around with ideas of how to build things. But at
Mhm.
the moment, that's as far as it goes. But between now and mainnet, we're going to be having a series of developer-focused initiatives happening, which will include a fund of Minima for people to help fund
Mhm.
building of things. We're going to be getting the community coming up with ideas and mini dApps they want to see built. And we're going to be doing hackathons as well. So there's going to be different ways for developers to get involved.
Awesome.
But there's not any specific projects that we're doing with anyone external at the moment.
I understand. It was all questions for our community, which we were collected. Thank you for this interview. Yeah, I think our ambassadors, our community will like it. I hope it was good. Yes.
Very good. You did a really good job, considering it was your first one.
Yeah.
And what I would love to do as we close the interview is just put a question back to the community, which is what would you like to see us at Minima do for you? What would you like us to do? And I would just open it up and just say, anybody has any ideas,
Uh-huh.
drop me a DM.
Okay.
And I'll always make sure that I always talk to everybody that gets into my DMs, but best ideas will get some XP and maybe some Minima as well.
Again, and I asked you previously that maybe some of the most interesting questions maybe will be rewarded for
Mhm.
experience in our Discord. I can like send you again the list of these questions, and maybe you can choose the sum of. And when we made this list, I wrote each name of these people who helped me, and maybe you can reward them.
Yeah, well, what I will do is I'll do 1,000 XP for every single question that you've had sent through,
Okay.
and I will have a think about who my favourite two were, and I will send them some minima. And is it just you on your side, or have you got somebody else working with you recording?
It's just my friend. He don't an ambassador. He don't become an ambassador.
So you both got notes?
Yeah, he have a note.
Cool. So if you let me know both of your email addresses for your incentive
Okay.
reward account, and I'll send you each 500 minima.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No,
So
thank you. Excellent initiative. And I'm really pleased to see you doing this. I will
yeah,
be
me
happy to
too.
do this again.
Okay, thank you, Luke. I hope we achieve our goal 1 million node. Thank you for this video. Bye. See you soon.
Take care. Bye.